Thank you for joining me. It's the Diamond K Show, of course. RadioFire.com, thediamondkshow.com. If you're watching us live or you're watching us on demand, thank you so much for stopping through. And Radio on Fire talks to America through digital news broadcast and social media content. We are a rising multimedia platform generating over 350,000 listeners and viewers per month through our audio and video streams. From politics, breaking news, celebrity info, sports talk, pop culture, and so much more, Radio on Fire keeps our audience covered. You made Diamond K in here, of course, and so much going on. The White House staff members, reportedly multiple people testing positive for coronavirus. If you remember, yesterday, the president visited Philly. So, this is continuing to spiral, and the mishandling of things at the hands of the administration is mind-boggling. So we're going to talk about that. Also on the program today, a top Trump health official takes leave of absence after his online rant about coronavirus. In Baltimore, they're looking for a woman who allegedly tried to run over a police detective. The Big Ten has reversed course and announced a fall football slate. Pressure from the president, no doubt. Also, we're going to talk about a vaccine. Would you take a vaccine? Will you take the vaccine? Of course, the president pushing a vaccine, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. That was yesterday's. Yesterday's was about the flu. But this is going to be tomorrow's, let me say that, question of the day about the vaccine. Joe Biden says that he trusts vaccines and scientists, but not Trump. And that is understandable about not trusting Trump. The scientists and the vaccines, it depends on whether they buckle to the pressure of the president like the CDC has. We're going to talk about that today. And the question of today, we're going to discuss that as well. And Kanye West has sunk to new lows. And we're going to talk about all of that when we come back after this. So, White House staff members reportedly testing positive for COVID-19. That's right. Things in the White House, of course, the White House has had coronavirus positives before. But less than 24 hours after the president visited Philly, reporters informed a reporter named Raquel. Well, she's a global reporter. She tested positive for coronavirus today. However, they're not releasing any other names as of right now. The chief of staff, Mark Meadows, says that he's not going to give us the names. Ironic. He said that I don't comment on any health-related issues as it relates to the White House ever. So what's ironic about this is that the president talks about his handling of this pandemic, right? And when it is convenient for the administration to hide things, they do that. When it's convenient for the FBI to say we are not speaking about ongoing investigations, when it's convenient, then they don't. But when it's convenient and in their best interest to do so, then they do that. There's no consistency with regards to this administration, with regards to the FBI, with regards to the CDC. You don't know who to trust, what to trust, anything. So there were. So let's say this. Okay. So Raquel, mispronounced her. Raquel says that she was informed of the positive coronavirus tests today. So how did this happen? So she doesn't have coronavirus. She was informed about the positive tests. So let me make that clear. So she's a White House journalist working in media in the White House. So the White House called the journalist from the pool. It's a media pool. 30 minutes later than they normally would. They get routine COVID-19 tests. So when she asked, why were things running late? Why were they 30 minutes behind what they normally do? The journalists were informed that they were late because it was a very busy morning. We had a couple of positives today, end quote. But as I said, Mark Meadows did not want to speak about it. And a White House reporter for Bloomberg reported that the White House was also declining comment. White House press secretary who claimed she was never going to lie to people, who does nothing but lie to people when she gets in front of the podium. Kayleigh McEnany said that I'm not here to give people's personal identities. And she said that close contacts with the person who has since tested positive would be notified. That is according to Bloomberg. So here's the thing. If you say people tested positive for coronavirus in the White House today, and their answer is, I'm not here to give people's personal identities. Okay, no one asked for their personal identities first, but you only confirmed that things are very, very out of control in the White House. And with Donald Trump heading things, how could they not be out of control? Donald Trump is out of control. Donald Trump completely out of control. So, have any members of the White House staff recently tested positive for coronavirus? That was a direct question to the press secretary. And she says that I don't share people's personal medical information. The person in the room, the media folk in the room, do have a right to know about positive coronaviruses, right? If you walk in a restaurant, you walk in a clothing store, and you say, "Excuse me, sir, have any members of your staff recently tested positive for coronavirus?" And their response is, "We don't share any personal information from people." Are you going to still shop at this store? Are you going to feel comfortable walking around in here? No, you would not. You would not. But the signing ceremony yesterday that Trump wants to talk about, the Middle East ceremony, right? Among those that attended the signing ceremony, that close contacts with the person who has since tested positive would be notified. So we do know that someone that was on that trip tested positive, potentially. President was in Philly yesterday for a town hall at the National Constitution Center with some undecided voters. He did a signing ceremony yesterday as well. He did a town hall yesterday. Busy day for him. It's part of the campaign of 2020. Election day is 49 days away. 49 days away. So, as we continue to move on, the town hall that the president participated in with George Stephanopoulos was, filled with Trump lies. When he tries to lie and people push back on the lie, he calls that him not being allowed to finish his statement. That's the president. You Republicans and the Obama, previous Obama voters that voted for Trump, whether it was Republican or Democrat or what have you, you people that voted for Trump, how are you feeling about your vote? How are you feeling about this Trump vote? Stay tuned. We have more of the show. Your man Diamond K in here. Be back right after this. And we're back. So on the other side, I was asking people who voted for Trump, how are you feeling about those votes? Do you feel that was a good vote? Do you feel that? Joe Biden, Donald Trump. What's the difference between the two? One of them has character and decency. One, not Trump. Okay. Now Biden has been, like anybody, on the wrong side of many things. Many things. They often talk about the crime bill, right? They often talk about that. And I did not like the crime bill, right? But there are many people who voted for that very bill. There are many people that are connected to that bill as well as Biden, right? But with that bill, let's look at police action, the exercising of justice. There's so many things that happened back in 1993. But when we fast forward till today, when we fast forward to right now, what's happening right now? Which one of these guys, Trump or Biden, which one of these guys is on the right side of history? So there's so many important things going on. The president did a press conference today. And during this press conference, he felt the need to start off with talking about the Big Ten. Football. That's what was really on his mind. Football. We have floods, fires, hurricanes, a pandemic, an economy that is teeter-tottering on the toilet, right? Teeter-tottering on the toilet. And the main thing that he wanted to talk about, or the first thing that the president wanted to talk about, was Big Ten football. That shows you the priorities. That shows you the priorities. When talking about last night's town hall with George Stephanopoulos, Trump was talking about the ratings, whether it was a good presentation, things like that. It just goes to show this is the guy who is in charge of the country. If people didn't take it serious in 2016, 4 years later, are you still not taking it serious? The Big Ten is going to give fall football a shot. The Big Ten is going to do that. Less than 5 weeks after pushing football and other fall sports to the spring because they claimed that they cared about player safety during the pandemic. The conference has done a complete change and says that it plans to begin its season October 23rd, 24th weekend. Teams are going to have an 8-game schedule. And the Big Ten said that it's Council of Presidents and Chancellors voted unanimously yesterday to restart sports. Last month, the vote was 11-3 to postpone, with Ohio State, Iowa, and Nebraska voting against. So the move came amid sharp pressure from the coaches, a lawsuit from players, pressure from parents, and Donald Trump, pushing a Big Ten football season. So with this out there, let's hope that we do not have a calamity and a big disaster, because I want all of these people, the president, these parents, the players, the coaches, make sure we got all these people on speed dial if this doesn't go right. But I guarantee you, if things do not go right, the president is not going to say, he's going to say, oh, that was y'all. Y'all did it, right? Assuming that he's even still around and not, in jail. Okay. The Big Ten said that it will begin testing athletes and coaches on September the 30th. Conference says that it will require each school to designate a chief infection officer to oversee the collection and the reporting of data. That is that's a slippery slope right there. That's something that is going to really tell the tale as to whether or not a lot of these athletes get infected. Let's keep in mind, these guys are not going to be in a bubble, and they're going to be roaming about. Teams' test positivity rate and the population positivity rate thresholds will be used to determine whether a team must halt practice or play. So if you're a parent and you're wondering what happens if my kid gets COVID-19, so if your kid gets COVID-19, he's a player on the Big Ten, the earliest the athlete can return to competition would be 21 days following a positive COVID-19 diagnosis. So there you have that. For those that wanted it so bad, Big Ten is back. Not sure if that's what you wanted. You said you wanted it. Now you got it. Big Ten is back. You know, people are talking. This is about their freedom. This has nothing to do with freedom. We're trying to contain a pandemic. But they want to talk about their freedom. You are free to die, but you're not free to take everybody in your community with you. You just tuned in as your man Diamond K, the Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com. I'm here daily or weekdays, 7 p.m. Let me slow down. And let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the program after this. And we are back. So a top Trump health official, Michael Caputo, is taking a leave of absence after his meltdown. He had a rant. He went over the deep end. He was already a little bit off, right? He was already a little bit off. And today they announced that he is taking a leave of absence. Hopefully he won't return, because Michael Caputo has no business, and I mean no business, running anything. So he is going to be taking what they are calling a 60-day sabbatical. They calling it, or is that me? Is that me calling it a 60-day sabbatical? Of course, you could see this on radioonfire.com. So, Mr. Caputo is a nut job, right? Not somebody that you would want speaking for your organization if you had one that you wanted the findings of the organization to be respected. Michael Caputo is going to take a 60-day medical leave of absence from his role as the Department of Health and Human Services top spokesman. So somebody who's hired as a spokesman, right? He does not communicate and speak very well. Why do I say this? Okay. This decision first comes days after Michael Caputo, the guy seen here. This comes days after he made some crazy, maybe I should use the word crazy, allegations. But he accused the government scientists of sedation and warned of a coming left-wing violence in a Facebook video. But today, the department, HHS, announced that the Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Michael Caputo, was pushed to take a leave of absence and focus on his health and the well-being of his family. So as I said, Caputo, he has some things going on. He's having a mental health crisis, bare minimum. And on yesterday, he apologized for some of his remarks. He apologized, but the backlash from this has been pretty severe. The negative press from this has been pretty severe. He has been trying to muzzle career scientists. And some of his statements. So he's taking his medical leave. They're saying that he's having some type of mental health crisis and such. But he definitely is someone. I mean, added that he'd put off seeing a doctor about issues for months. What happened to the president saying that he was going to hire the best and the brightest people? Right? What happened to that? So this is on radioonfire.com right now, the full story by Politico. And this guy is a piece of work. This guy is a piece of work. So he said that he put off seeing the doctor, and he said that this was a mistake and contributed to my stress level, along with the increasing number of violent threats leveled at me and my family back in Buffalo. But every American battling COVID-19 in every city, in every state across the nation, has been under enormous pressure, and I'm just one of them. So now he's trying to make himself a victim. Okay. Nobody's threatening this guy. Nobody's threatening him. Okay. This is all in your mind, Michael Caputo. And if you think that people are going to feel sorry for you, you got another thing coming. This guy has tried to suppress information, manipulate data. He needs to go. He needs to go somewhere else. Yeah, jail or court, something. I'm definitely sure. So, but this has been a very turbulent week for HHS. These revelations about Michael Caputo and his politically motivated attempts to meddle with the activities of this public health agency. I don't think that anything's wrong with him other than, I mean, he's the way that he's always been. He's saying the things that got him hired. This is the kind of stuff that Trump likes. It just so happened that the blowback has been so severe that they had to get rid of him. But understand this, ain't nothing wrong with him. This is how he is. This is how he normally is. So Ryan Murphy is going to take over as the department's acting assistant secretary of public affairs in the meantime. And it is a role that he had filled prior to Caputo's arrival. He's only been there since mid-April. And the amount of damage that Caputo has done since then, it can be recovered. It can be recovered. And so, we have that. Now, Caputo is a longtime Trump lackey, and he's been closely controlling the health and human services messaging around this pandemic. Now, the vaccine, the often talked about vaccine that Trump is trying to rush out like Speed Racer, that has got to concern people. No? Doesn't concern people at all? Let's understand this. The president wants to fast track a vaccine. Why? Why would the president want to fast track a vaccine? Do you think it's because he cares about you or me or the citizens of this great nation? Do you think that he cares? No, he cares about re-election, and he thinks that this is going to help him get reelected. But let me tell you this. People who don't support the president are not going to take the vaccine. You know who's going to take the vaccine? You folks that support the president. That's who's going to take the vaccine. You're going to take this vaccine that was rushed to market. Rushed to market. That's the vaccine that you're going to take. You Trump supporters, you MAGA folks, y'all going to be the ones to take it because you believe the president. People who don't support the president are not going to be quick to take this vaccine. They're not going to. So you Trump supporters, you MAGA folks, you're going to be the ones who are the guinea pigs for this vaccine that the president's trying to rush to market. And later on, what are going to be the effects of this rushed to market vaccine? You ever bought a PlayStation before? Or any kind of a video game system, and you get that first generation? Usually something's wrong with it. Some kind of bug in it. You gotta end up sending it back. Well, you've heard of that happening. That first generation ain't that good. When you buy a phone, computer, that first generation, not good. Got to work out the kinks. The president wants to work out the kinks on you Republicans and you MAGA supporters. And I say that because the Americans who don't support him are not listening to him and will not trust his vaccine. Trust scientists, but you're not going to trust the president. And when Joe Biden says he trusts scientists and doctors over the president is saying one thing. Scientists are saying something else. And a scientist that the president is twisting his arm to say something, That's one thing. But if you have another scientist saying something else, most people are not going to listen to this Trump lackey. The president has shown consistently he cares about one thing, himself. He doesn't care about family over himself, right? A lot of people would take a bullet for their family or push their family out of the way if something's going to happen. Not Trump. No, Trump wouldn't. And this is the person that is leading the country. This is what's happened. This is where we're at. The American people are in danger as long as he has the nuclear codes. All he does is play on Twitter, watch Fox News, try to play golf because he's not good at golf. All the golf playing he does, I say this all the time, he can't play. He's not good. He's not good at golf. I don't know what he's good at, actually. I can't figure out what it is that he is good at. So, just tuning in, you listen to the Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com. And as you can see, I am in one of those moods. Election day is fast approaching. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the woman that Baltimore County is looking for. And they are not happy with her. So we're going to talk about this woman that Baltimore County Police are looking for right after this.
Oh, my nigga Diamond K on the check-in. Salute Diamond K, radioonfire.com. Let me check on his site. Hold on a second. That's my homie from B-More.
You are now streaming worldwide on radioonfire.com and the Radio on Fire app.
Diamond K, are you moving to the ATL? I know you were talking about that, man, before the pandemic.
Giving you more talk, more news, and more music. It's Radio on Fire.
Okay, there you go. RadioOnFire.com. That's the homie Diamond K.
Thank you for listening to Radio on Fire.
I see High Roller Records, Jay Jackson Live, The Diamond K Show, of course. Yeah, folks, make sure you check out my homie, RadioOnFire.com. That's Diamond K.
Follow us on all social media at Radio on Fire.
And we are back. You may Diamond K in here, of course. The Diamond K Show. Weekdays, 7 p.m. Or on demand, wherever you get your podcast or video feeds. So after making an arrest yesterday in downtown Baltimore, an incident that occurred, Baltimore County Police are looking for this woman that they say rammed her car into the back of a police vehicle and tried to run over a detective. So Tiara Baker, 22 years old, of North Kenwood Avenue, is wanted on several charges in Baltimore City, Baltimore, and Anne Arundel counties related to theft, robbery, assaults, etc. So the city charges, it's not looking good for her. They definitely want to talk with her. So Tuesday, yesterday, there was some kind of incident downtown, and the county detectives, as I said, were out of their jurisdiction. They're the county in Baltimore City, but whatever. So the county detectives were conducting a stakeout, as they call it, related to some thefts and robberies that they say happened in the area. Why they did not patch in Baltimore City is beyond me. But Miss Baker was seen walking out of the Hotel RL and getting into a vehicle. Detectives attempted to prevent the car from leaving so they could arrest her. And, she didn't want to be arrested. She decided that she was going to go hard. And she rammed her car into the police vehicle, driving towards the detective, who fired and struck the front windshield. Baker's car was obviously hit another vehicle, and then the vehicle drove off. So she went hard. Car was later found in Northwest Baltimore. And a man that was on the scene was arrested, and he faces separate Baltimore City charges. And he's also being investigated as it relates to other incidents that have been linked to Miss Baker. So it's a lot going on. They're going to try to say that they're probably going to try to say she tried to kill the officer. So this is a mess. So it appears that she may need some medical attention. I think that there may have been some blood or what, but they said that she is hurt or needed medical attention. Just a crazy situation in Baltimore City. So when this is a perfect segue when we talk about crazy, right? The rapper, producer, I can't call him a politician. Kanye West is a disgrace. Nothing new here. And before you folks go and start singing some sad song for Kanye West, or talking about he misses his mother, or Jay-Z, or bipolar, whatever you want to say, at a certain point, your actions, your words, they have to mean something, right? Now, we can, on one hand, talk about how this man is supposed to be some type of a musical genius. Yet, when he types words or says things, we ignore them. There's no excuse making for the disgusting things that Kanye West says and does. I'm not making any excuses for him. But there are many people out there that are going to make excuses for him. People that feel sorry for Kanye, which I do not. Kanye is a disgrace. His actions, his rants, his ignorance are going to severely damage his legacy. Kanye West is a hip-hop tragedy. As time goes on, it will continue to get worse. My thoughts on Kanye West. And why do I say that? What has what has your boy Ye? What has he done this time? What hasn't he done? So Kanye, as always, like his mentor, Trump, he does a lot of his most damaging things on Twitter. Kanye posted a video of himself urinating on a Grammy Award. That's for starters, right? Disgusting. You can say what you want about the Grammys and their selection process, but many artists, including Kanye, went out of their way to show how much they valued the Grammy Awards. And if you don't like the awards now, it's fine. Throw them away. Throw them out, right? Burn them, whatever you want to do, right? But to show yourself urinating on them, that's too much. That's disgusting. What if somebody came and urinated on some of those ugly clothes that he makes, right? It's just, it's silliness, really. But what really has people talking is some series of tweets that the producer put out there, right? So he's talking about recording contracts. He's talking about all kind of stuff, right? Here, one of the tweets says that 90% of the recording contracts, the record contracts on the planet are still on a royalty A standard. Record deal is a trap to never have you recoup. And there's all these hidden costs like distribution fees. Many labels put in their contracts to make even more money off our work without even trying. Okay. Several things I want to say about that. First of all, Kanye, maybe you forgot, but you have artists in contracts, right? You yourself. And I mean, you signed the contract. And if it was a bad contract, okay, renegotiate, get out of it, figure it out. But during a pandemic, with an economic crunch, the way that it is, people don't care about your rich person problems, man. Nobody cares. It's like you work at a job, right? People that work at regular jobs. And they say, we need you to work or be available 7 days a week. Your time can change. And then people are going to come out and complain about, well, I got to work on this day or that day. Yeah, you do. That's what you agreed to do. If you don't want to work there anymore, then don't work there anymore, right? It's simple like that. Now, the contract, you signed this contract. He tweeted yesterday about not doing any music until he's out of the contract. Well, that's dumb. The contract's going to stand still until you release more music. You'd be better just to release some music, finish the contract, and then do your thing and do something else, right? But at the end of the day, nobody wants to hear about your rich person problems. They don't want to hear and complain about it. People have bigger things going on. Bigger things going on. But as I said, the recognized symbol in the music industry, at least right now, has been a Grammy. And he pissed on the Grammy, literally. Pissed on the Grammy. Then he posted this that says, only museum quality boys, right? Which is a picture of a very nice living room. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Rich person problems. You can't on one hand complain and think people are going to feel sorry for you and then start showing them expensive furniture and expensive house. Nobody cares about you and your foolishness. So he tries to bait other people in to get involved in his stupidity, asking Bono and I guess Paul McCartney, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and even Taylor Swift for him for support for him. Many of these people, Kanye, Taylor Swift, have been repeatedly bitten by Kanye West, the football taken away, falling into his foolishness. And I doubt that any of them are even going to bite at this. Kanye did not stop there. He went on to post the Forbes magazine editor Randall Lane's phone number in a now deleted tweet, imploring his fans to call this guy a white supremacist. At this point, Kanye West and his antics are well past their sell by date. Well past. But he continued. He wasn't done. Kanye then doubled down on his vow to not stop until it's all fair, dubbing himself Nat Ye, a.k.a. Baby Putin. Baby Putin. Of course, he's talking about Vladimir Putin and Nat Turner. He's been mentioning these guys pretty much regularly, like he is taking some kind of inspiration. You're not leading anybody. I don't even think that his kids would follow him into the kitchen. That's how off this guy is. I don't think his kids would follow him in the kitchen. And you know how much kids love to go in the kitchen. I continuously talk about Kanye's behavior. And so, of course, talking more about music. He said this: "Hi, guys. Trust me. We will not stop. Hit Boy first to stand up. I didn't have a problem with him producing for Beyonce. I had a problem with the fact he was signed to me and I didn't know. But I knew Jay and Beyonce and Hit Boy, just for clarity." That's not clarity. If you didn't have a problem with Hit Boy, who is a producer, producing for Beyonce, then that should just be it right there. But if you say one thing and your actions say something else, then people are going to go with your actions. This is a shot of, you can see Kanye's stupid shoes and the Grammy. It is it's pretty stupid. You know what I mean? When you think about it, it's pretty stupid. That's it there. Kanye West. This is a grown man with children that wants you to vote for him for something one day, right? Because it ain't gonna happen this year, 2020. I mean, it ain't gonna happen in 2024. This man, as I said many times, is not qualified to lead his household, let alone this country. But the saga of Kanye West continues, and some people still fascinated by this guy. Not sure why. Doesn't make sense to me. Does not make sense to me at all. So you're just tuning in to Diamond K Show here on Radio on Fire. And the question of the day today was, did the media wrongfully take down R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and Michael Jackson? You can always see our question of the day on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio on Fire. Also on Instagram.com/Radio on Fire. So that was the question that I asked. And we got some interesting comments. I'll read a few. Ike says, maybe not R. Kelly, LOL. But Bill and Mike, yeah. That's not to throw shade on Kells, but yo got whole videos. Too incriminating. Another person says that Bill, I'm not sure about the other two. And somebody else agreed with them. This is another comment from Marie. She says that there is more than enough evidence and actual videotape, courtesy of Mr. Kelly himself. So he is where he belongs. Michael and Bill are debatable, but there is certainly enough evidence to suggest questionable conduct. No grown man should be sleeping with children that are not his own. And Bill admits to using date, rape, drugs. So that is interesting, and he has admitted that. So let me know your thoughts. Did the media wrongfully take down R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, and Michael Jackson? So the key word here is wrongfully. And is it wrong for people to ask questions based on the behavior of celebrities? No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. In the case of Michael Jackson did some things that were questionable. And I don't think that it was wrong to ask questions. His answers to questions were not good, usually. Now, that does not mean because he could not handle the public scrutiny, that doesn't mean that he was guilty. I'm just saying behavior caused questions and his answers led to more questions. As it relates to Bill Cosby was taken down in a way that was wrong. Now, Bill Cosby participated and did some things per his own mouth that are inexcusable. But that's not why he's in jail. He's in jail because there was a conspiracy against him. There are many people that are not in jail that have done far worse than Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is a victim of several things: racism, jealousy, but he's also a victim of his own arrogance. And in this instance, this arrogance, meaning that he thought he was above anything. He did a lot of things that he should not have done. He never should have done that deposition as well. But ultimately, the story of Bill Cosby is a sad one, ultimately, because he did a lot of good. He did a lot of bad. And America has a tendency of picking and choosing when to ignore bad behavior, a la Donald Trump, and when to not ignore it. Lastly, R. Kelly, another person that became the victim of his own arrogance. But when I really think about it, there's an illness here. There's an illness. And I say that because R. Kelly could have gotten any number of grown women to do any of the nasty, freaky stuff he wanted to do. But he chose to get younger girls because there's some type of illness in his mind, what he's attracted to. There's something wrong there. Now, he could have gotten, and you could say he could have gotten there are grown women who are smaller framed, or if he wanted a girl that, looked young, that are older women, but they're slim. If he wanted somebody, he could have got a grown woman many times over. He chose not to, for whatever reason. And the fact that he's in jail now because of actions that have been over 20 years. People, the media, this was a running joke. People knew about this, but over and over and over again, it's not like he repented. It's not like he turned his life around. He was still doing it. It's not like you could point to something that happened in the 90s with Aaliyah, and then in the early 2000s with the girl on the videotape, and that was it. He still was doing things that were wrong. And ultimately, that's what led him down. And actions aside, he's one of the most talented people ever musically. But as a person, just don't know. Of course, on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. I will be back tomorrow. You can always advertise with us. Connect your message with our engaged audience of over 350,000 listeners and viewers per month. RadioOnFire.com/advertise is where you go to get started. You can follow The Diamond K Show on Spotify or your favorite podcast network. New shows drop. What? New shows drop. I want to say drop daily because they do. All right. The Diamond K Show doesn't drop daily. It's weekdays, but new shows drop daily. RadioFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. And you can always support the program via Cash App. And that is $DJ Diamond K. Of course, your donations help us continue to do what we do here on the program. And that is to bring you independent news and progressive opinion on politics, social issues, entertainment, and so much more. For booking or media requests, contact me, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Until next time, if you see it, then you can be it. It is all about having vision. Your man Diamond K. I will see you guys tomorrow.